in a relationship, it's easy. Like, can you love the person or not? Bang, that's all. And then when it comes to bandmates, I need like all my fingers. It's crazy.
Hello, you metal pilgrims, and welcome to the new episode of our interview series on MP2. Our today's guest is Shakey Sue of the Hellfreaks from Hungary. Sue, how are you? How's everything?
Hi there. First of all, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I'm doing great. Everything is cool. Everything is fine.
Yeah.
I'm just like a little bit sad that summer is over because I'm a real summer girl and I hate when it's getting cold. But beside that, I'm fine.
That's good. Good to hear. I don't know about you, but I'm in Kyiv, Ukraine, actually myself, and over here it's like real autumn today already. I mean, I dug out my leather jacket, and it's kind of plus 16 degrees Celsius. Not so pleasant.
Same here. I'm based in Hungary, Budapest, so I think we have pretty much the same weather.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
How are things in Hungary, COVID-wise? Do you guys see the light at the end of the tunnel already?
Well, actually, I don't know if this is like a good decision or a bad decision, but our politicians doesn't really seem to care about the fourth upcoming wave. I mean, I am personally, as a musician, happy about it because I'm really sick about all
of course, everyone is.
Restrictions that we have. I don't know. So far, I want to stay positive, and I don't want to think about what happened, and I hope that it's not getting continued like that. And I don't know. So far, so good. We'll
exactly.
see.
Let's just all pray that all this madness is going to be over, and we'll be able to get back to normal lives, and especially for us rockers and metalheads, because I mean. We will live for live concerts, live for live shows, right? I mean, enjoying music online is not really the most favorable thing for us, right? So
yeah, I mean, hey, it's cool, but can we go to live shows, please?
exactly. All right, awesome. So first of all, I mean, can you just tell us a little bit, before we jump into a more detailed discussion? And I think that the Hellfreaks, right? I mean, will be unknown for some fans, around the globe. So can you just introduce the band very quickly and tell us the story of the Hellfreaks and how you guys came to where you guys at right now?
Yeah, sure. So I am the singer of the band. My name is Sue, and I was the one who was forming the band in 2009. With a couple of friends in our hometown, Budapest. And, this whole band started as a hobby.
Yeah.
This whole band started in a totally different genre as a psychobilly band.
Oh, really?
You should all know that in these days we are playing a mix of punk and metal. That's how I would describe ourselves, but actually it's mixing a lot of things, but these are our two main elements. And back in 2009 to 2014, we wrote two albums which were absolutely in the psychobilly genre, but then we split up with that lineup, and we thought that this is like really the end, and that I actually believe that I have nothing to search in the music scene and that I have to stop. A lot of things happened. And actually, when I started to accept that there won't be any Hellfreaks anymore, then we received an email from USA, from the Californian Inca Iron Festival, because they did not know that we split up, and they invited us. And for a band from Hungary, this is like a huge thing. So, but I was back then. I was like very, very down, and I am very thankfully for my drummer back then, because he was the guy who said like, Sue, come on, let's do this. Let's figure out a way how we can fix a thing, how we can make this band working again. And that he promised me that he will find new people who will be good people to work with. And he kept his word, and he found new people. And that was the moment when we like fixed that never ever again we let us bound to one genre, because like artistic wise, that was for me like a very like
It's
a
restrictive.
killing situation. I was really stuck in this boundary, and I wanted to improve my voice. I wanted to learn new things. I wanted to try new things. I wanted to talk about things that I felt important. I wanted to get better as a singer and as a songwriter, and I couldn't get better because psychobilly is such a small genre that it is. I personally felt that I would have to repeat myself, and that was not my thing. So we put the best part of my personal best part of psychobilly, which is punk music, and we said, okay, let's take this punk core and let's see what we can make of it. And whenever we have a new idea, doesn't matter if it's not fitting to any genre, we will just do it if we think if it's good. And this is how I am always saying that this is like the new generation of Hellfreaks, and this is how everything started to turn good for us. We wrote so far 4 albums. All of the albums came out on different German labels. And our last album, God on the Run, got like very, very good reviews from all around the world, which was really very, very honoring for us. And we were very like happy that we could put together something that people like so much. And then after that, we started to work on new songs. And the first new song we worked on was All Tomorrows. And then Napalm Records, we sent it to Napalm Records, and they liked it. So we just could announce our signing to Napalm Records a few weeks ago. And we also released a new song, All Tomorrows, with a video on the label.
This is awesome. And obviously the greatest news, the biggest news about you guys is signing with Napalm. I mean, that's how I think, most of new audiences found out about you in the last couple of weeks, especially. So congrats on that one. I think you guys well deserved and this, and I think it's a great signing for both Napalm and for you, right? Definitely a step up. So how is it so far? How is Napalm treating you in the first couple of weeks? I mean, did anything change or not really?
What we were expecting was that we can reach new people, and this is exactly what happened. So for us, it was very important that, as I said, we had like smaller labels before, and we did pretty much everything by ourselves. Like DIY is a big thing for us, and it was always a big part of the band. And we reached after all, we felt like, okay, now we reached a level that we reached everything that we can reach by ourselves, but now we need a bigger partner. And you're having a lot of interviews with musicians, so you know that setting a goal in the music industry and reaching a goal in the music industry, these are 2 totally different things. Exactly. And I am personally always happy about the small steps, but this was a big step for us that we could really like set this goal and that we could make it. Yeah. This was awesome. Like we were like for us, it's a big thing, And like just one example, we always released all of our videos on our own YouTube channel. And now this is the first video that we could release on another YouTube channel. And of course, this other YouTube channel, Napalm Records YouTube channel, has a lot of subscribers. And the funny thing is that we knew that everyone likes metal, but we also knew that between metal and metal, there are words. So it's true. So we did not know what to expect, like if people will like it or they will hate it, or we are, as I said, we are not like in one genre lane. We are mixing things that we like. This is also like very risky. I know that this is risky because for people usually it's easier to understand music, which is like
similar to what they like already, yeah.
In one lane, and then when you are like putting different pieces together, it's a big risk that if people will like it or hate it. And we are super happy because like all the like almost all the but like the most of the comments are really good, and we also found a lot of new people, and that's like for me personally always the biggest thing when somebody is writing that they just heard a song of us and now they are like really into our music and check their catalog and they liked how we mix the things. So I'm very happy so far.
Exactly. That's very rewarding for any artist, I think, right?
Yeah.
Appreciation from both old and new fans. But
Yeah.
you started speaking about this, right? I mean, there are two things kind of I wanted to go off with what you said. Number one is that Napalm is famous for its relations with metal bands, right? I mean, and it's usually the traditional heavy power and then going into the heavier even genres.
Yeah.
When you guys don't fall into that exact category. So
Yeah.
do you personally think that this sign-in will affect you as musicians and you will lean towards, heavier sound, or you will continue to stick with whatever you guys are good at?
I mean, I don't think that they will influence us because if it would be, I mean, look, so many people wanted to influence our road so far. So many. It doesn't matter if we're talking about just normal like listeners or people in the music industry. But we always wanted to do our own thing, and our own thing is to mix things that we like in rock music. That means hardcore and metal and punk, and we also like, I mean, people like intend to say that they hear pop music in our music, but actually it's just that we are doing music with melody and like someone says that this is pop, so whatever. And
Honestly, I see nothing bad in pop. I'm a metalhead. I've always been, and I mean, but honestly, if it's good music, it's good music. It doesn't really matter what it is. I mean, I'll tell you a very quick story, real quick. It's a side note, but my daughter just recently, I mean, she's 4 years old, and she's dug out Aqua. Remember Aqua from back in the 2000s?
Yeah,
And I realized that I remember all of the lyrics, and I'm actually singing along not because she likes it, but because why not?
yeah.
Don't tell anyone. I mean, this is going to be uploaded, but
You are telling it to everyone. No, I'm not telling it to anyone.
But the truth is, good music is good music, and it doesn't matter, if metal or rock and roll would never be influenced by other styles, it would have never developed, right? It would most likely have died back in the 50s.
100% agree with you. Even though it's a really hard thing as a musician that we chose to walk the path that we like to experiment, we like to improve, we like to get better, and for getting better, you have to try new things, unusual things, and it's not so easy to get that accepted. But by now, I feel like very honored and I'm actually very grateful to have a fan base around us who are those type of people who are like really open-minded, and I think that's like, for me personal, like the biggest thing, that we are now surrounded by people who actually think kind of the same about it like we do. And because I personally always just a good story for that. So I personally, as I said, I was really in love with psychobilly music. I mean, I still like it. I just don't want to do it. I still like it. I just don't want to do it. But what I saw in the scene is that when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16, 14, something like this, when I get to know psychobilly. And you know why I felt in love with it? Because what I saw at first was that how fucking cool it is that they took rockabilly, which is like a very conservative, a very not changing. I mean, rockabilly is all about not changing a thing.
That's the whole point of it, yeah.
That's the whole point of it, yes. That's the whole, I mean, actually, I also like rockabilly, but that's the whole point of it. Don't change anything. And then these crazy people just took rockabilly and mixed it back then, like in the 80s, with modern music, which was back then punk music. This was how psychobilly was born. And I was like super fascinated how cool it is that they took something old and combined it with something new and created something totally different. And I was totally fascinated. And then by the years, I'm not sure if I was the one who changed or if the scene is the one who changed. I'm still not sure about it, but what I realized that these open-minded people started to get very close-minded. So there is like also in psychobilly, there is also neo psychobilly, which means psychobilly bands which are more punk influenced than rockabilly influenced. And there were some bands which had like great ideas, which were like really cool because they put modern music into rockabilly, and it was something very exciting. But no one in the scene let them to play on the bigger festivals. They were always branded as not psychobilly enough, not true enough, and with the time they just disappeared.
Yeah.
So from my personal view, I witnessed a scene killing themselves slowly because they don't let new blood in the scene. And I'm really not sure if in 30 years there will be new people who want to follow the same path. And since then, I'm like, if there is a scene who is not letting in anything new, for me it feels like they are choking themselves because there won't be new blood, which can build something new or keep it up.
This is really interesting. And talking about new blood and new music. I mean, Old Tomorrows. You started speaking about this, right? Your first single with Napalm, and the most recent song you guys released. So, can you talk a little bit about the concept behind it? Because it does look like there is a deeper meaning to the song. And what did you personally? I assume you're the lyric writer. Yeah. So, what did you personally wanted to portray in that?
Okay, so lyric-wise, All Tomorrows is about the gap that is getting bigger and bigger between the generations, which means, I mean, we're all witnessing this. We are living in a world which is so much quicker and so much more different than the world of our grandparents or even our parents. We don't have to go so far away. And of course, this is because the internet, the digitalization, the technology, our whole way of life changed a lot in the last decades. And because of the way of life changed, the problems changed, and also the way of thinking changed. And everyone grew up in a different environment, and everyone thinks that the way how they live or how they live is the one and only good way. And what I feel is, I personally, or I don't know how it is in Ukraine, but here in Hungary, even when you're a very small child, you learn to respect the elder ones. It's like something that is like that should come very naturally, that we respect the elder ones because they have like much bigger experience. And now what I see that young people don't really respect the elder people because they think that just because they I mean, don't want to say that they are outdated, but they grew up in a different world and they think differently. They don't respect them, but it's the same problem with the elder people, that they don't see the potential in the younger people, and they don't see that, sure, they grew up in a different environment, but that different environment is the future. And the gap between these generations is just getting bigger and bigger. The disrespect is getting bigger and bigger. And I think if we would be way more open-minded, we could learn from each other much more, and it could be so much better actually for both parties.
This is really interesting concept. And do you plan on taking this concept, and expanding it on the album, which I assume will be released in 2022?
Yeah, we released it in 2022. It definitely, I mean, we never did a concept album, and I don't think that we will ever do a concept album. But my inspiration of lyrics was always, of course, it was always based on my experience, because if it wouldn't be based on my own experience, I would feel that it's not really honest, if this makes any sense. But it was always based on unfairness. Like when I see that something is working really bad and no one is pointing on it, or we're not pointing on it enough. And also, I'm very inspired by my own dark times. it's so easy that I always feel that if I'm sharing this and people read this and they feel the same, I can help with that. And I got a lot of like, feedback from fans that they listen a lot our music when they are feeling really down, and it really helps them. So I think that's a pretty good thing.
This is awesome. And when it comes to writing new music, and I just assume that you are the main lyricist, but how do you guys usually divide responsibilities? I mean, who's responsible for what when it comes to writing material?
It is I always call our bass player like the head of songwriter. So our bass player is the head of songwriter because he's mainly responsible for the instrumental part. He is not only writing the bass lines, he is always also writing like the drum parts and the guitar parts. Of course, our guitarist and drummer is putting, when the concept is kinda ready-ish, they are putting their own spice to the songs. But the main concept and the main idea, since God on the Run, comes always from our bass player.
Okay.
And it's like normally how it works is that he puts together a concept, sends it to me, then I try to figure out melodies, no words, just melodies.
Okay.
Then we recorded the melodies, and then we see if the melody fits to the song, or if it's not fitting, then I have to figure out new melodies, or if the melody is better than his idea, then he's changing the instrumental part. Yes, exactly. And only when we are like sure that, okay, instrumental part is kind of ready-ish. Of course, like the producing part just comes in the end, but like the main lines are fixed and the vocal melody is fixed. Only after that, I'm sitting down. Like, I'm super old school in this case. Like, actually, this is the place where I'm writing my lyrics.
It's okay. I don't know if you can see it, but I have one on my table as well.
So I'm like not able to write lyrics in front of a laptop. It's just not working. I don't know. My creative brain is closing down when it's something digital. I don't know. Maybe I'm old.
Too much Facebook and Instagram there.
I don't know. So, and then I'm like, I'm always collecting ideas, what I want to talk about in my songs. And then when I have the song itself and the vocal melody, then I pick out what I should work out, and then I start to work out with the words.
Okay. Makes sense. And speaking about, you started speaking about the bassist also at this point. You mentioned drummer before. In 2014, after that switch, of the direction of the entire team, right? I mean, that was very drastic, for the band, right? Shocking, I'd say. So can you say that right now you have, the strongest possible team, and you guys are on the highest point?
Definitely, yeah. No doubts.
Okay.
That's like, right now we are the best version of ourselves so far.
This is awesome. This is always great to hear. I love, as you said, I communicate with a lot of bands, and I always love to hear the stories of, people just getting along and doing what they love doing with the people they love doing it with.
Yeah.
So this is awesome.
The thing is that finding the right bandmates, or this is what I'm always saying, that finding the right bandmates is way more complicated than finding the right partner for a relationship, because you have to find someone who can play the instrument that you need, who can play it good, who kind of have the same taste, or at least wants to make the same music that you like, who has time for it, who has passion for it,
and who's not an asshole.
and then comes my other hand. It's like someone who you can really relate to, who you like, who you can go to tour with.
Yeah.
And it's, as I said, like in a relationship, it's easy. Like, can you love the person or not? Bang, that's all. And then when it comes to bandmates, I need like all my fingers. It's crazy. So it was really, for us, it was really hard to find like the the best crew and the final person for this band, especially that. I mean, as I said, we're based in Hungary. We are based in Budapest, which is, I mean, it's a big city, but it's like not like we would have 100 million of possibilities. It's more like a luck if you find someone or not.
I think it's at this point, and this is talking about gap of generations or not whatsoever. I think the perks of 21st century is that there are no more borders really, right, for music at least, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, look at us. I mean, I'm sitting in Kiev, Ukraine. You're sitting in Budapest, Hungary, and most likely a guy from Germany and then a guy from the United States will be watching this. I mean, this is awesome and this is amazing, and this is unprecedented, and nothing like this has happened ever, in the course of history. The borders were never so blur, as they are right now when we're talking about music and art. And I think it's great.
I think this is awesome. Yeah, I think this is awesome. Yeah.
But as we said, we all want to go back to real life and real concerts. So just a couple of more questions on that block. I know it's kind of late, so I don't want to keep you here for too long. Number one is, if there would be one band, any band in the world, with which could not say no to you, to play on stage with, who would that be?
I hate this question.
You have
it's
to answer it.
impossible. No,
You
it's
have
not.
to
It's
answer
not.
it. I mean, come on, you have to answer it. That's it. I mean,
Jesus. Okay, I'm going to be like super what's the word for it? I would just think on my own.
okay.
Selfish. I will be super selfish and choose like one of my all-time favorite bands,
Good.
which is the Distillers. I would love
Oh.
to share the stage with the Distillers.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I actually, someone in the comments under your latest video said that you guys kind of sound like Distillers. So I guess the influence.
I'm really honored if someone is saying that. I mean, I don't think so, unfortunately, because I think Brody Dale is on a totally different level. She is like very badass. Actually, when I was, I don't know, like 15, 16 or something like that, I found the Distillers and I was like totally hypnotized. It was like the first female fronted bands that really hypnotized me was Walls of Jericho and Distillers. And I was like very fascinated, like how can be these women so strong on the stage and so cool and so badass and
This is great.
yeah. So yeah, I will go with the Distillers because I'm alone at this interview and I can be selfish.
Yes, do it. Awesome. So thank you so much for your time. The last one for tonight, and I'd really love to hear it from you because I hear that, ex-Psychobilly bands also get some crazy stories. So what is one craziest story you got, to tell us from your time on the road?
Once we were on tour and we had a gig in North Germany and we were actually on the road when they called us. It was a very punk festival and we were on the road when they called us that the organizer just disappeared and took all the money. and if we arrived, they don't know if they can do anything with us. For sure they have no money, and it's on our choice, right? And I mean, we were already there and we were on tour, so we said like, fuck it, let's do this show. Yeah. And I mean, I've never saw such an anarchic scene than there. It was like, dude, it was crazy, like thousands of punks going even more crazy than they're normally going crazy because they knew that there was like no one who was like
no consequences
for them. And then whatever, so we went on the stage. There were also like technical problems. There were no electricity and whatever, crazy show. Somehow we could start a show. And then one guy who was already, I mean, like, I guess so, I'm not sure, but I guess so, that he was on drugs and drank a lot. So he was already in another dimension, and he decided to throw off all his clothes, and he was like standing in the front line like super naked. And then all the other punk guys just saw him and said like, "Oh man, that's a great idea." and like there were like a line of guys, a big line of guys, standing butt naked in front of the stage, like they had nothing on it. And I was like, okay, I did not expect this. But I tried to stay cool. Do this show somehow.
Don't show.
So this was like an unexpected experience, I would say.
This is awesome. Sue, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. So any last message for the fans? Anything you want to share with them, both old and new?
Okay, so both old and new. We have already something prepared for you. It is old knows that we never done this. New will know that I don't think that we will do this again. But
Wow.
we just did a cover song, which is, I think, a very unexpected one. And we also prepared a little video for it. And I don't think that it will take so very long till we release it. So keep your eyes on us. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube, because we really like to chat with you and talk with you and get in touch with you. And yeah, stay tuned, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Sue from the Hellfreaks. Everyone, thank you so much. Check them out. I think you will definitely enjoy it. Sue, have a great night. Keep rocking.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.